大家好，欢迎你回到 CHI 213的频道，我是高老师。今天我们要继续学第12课对话1。第12课说什么？好的，跟我说吃饭。吃饭。Hey everybody, this is Gao 老师 and welcome back to CHI 213. By the way, you're probably wondering, what does 继续 mean? 继续, J-I-X-U, fourth tone, means to continue. So when I say 我们要继续学, that just simply means we want to continue studying. 好的，我们开始吧。If you engage with this video as it instructs you to do, you will be able to accomplish the following learning objectives. Number 1, you'll be able to read, understand, and pronounce, using correct tones of course, all of the assigned vocab words from Lesson 12, Dialogue 1. Number 2, you'll be able to read and fully comprehend on your own the entire dialogue. And number 3, you'll have a basic understanding of the dialogue's main grammar points, and there are 3 that we'll focus on here in this pre-class video. 准备好了吗？好的，我们开始吧。Let's begin preparing for our next class session by first listening to the audio of our new vocab words. And as always, as you hear the speaker pronounce these words, please try your best to mimic their pronunciation out loud. Let's listen.
Lesson 12, Dialogue 1, Vocabulary.
饭馆
Restaurant.
好像
To seem, to be like.
位子
Seat.
服务员
Waiter, attendant.
服务
To serve. To provide service.
桌子
Table.
点菜
To order food.
盘
Plate, dish.
饺子
Dumplings. With vegetable and or meat filling.
素
Vegetarian.
家常
Home style.
豆腐
Tofu, bean curd.
放
To put. To place.
肉
Meat,
碗
Bowl.
酸辣汤
hot and sour soup.
酸
Sour.
辣
Spicy, hot.
汤
Soup.
味精
Monosodium glutamate, MSG.
盐
Salt.
白菜
Bok choy.
刚
Just.
卖完
To be sold out.
完
Finished.
青菜
Green, leafy vegetable.
冰茶
Iced tea.
冰
Ice.
可
Thirsty.
些
Measure word for an indefinite amount. Some.
够
Enough.
饿
Hungry.
上菜
To serve food.
Please do go back now and listen to this audio at least 2 more times. Let's move on now and listen to the audio of the textbook dialogue.
Lesson 12. Dialogue 1. Dining out.
请进请进
人怎么这么多？好像一个位子都没有了。
服务员，请问还有没有位子？
有，那张桌子没有人。两位想吃点什么？
王鹏，你点菜吧。
好，先给我们2盘饺子，要素的。
除了饺子以外，还要什么？
李友，你说呢？
还要一盘家常豆腐，不要放肉，我吃素。
我们的家常豆腐没有肉。
还要2碗酸辣汤，请别放味精，少放点盐。有小白菜吗？
对不起，小白菜刚卖完。
那就不要青菜了。
那喝点什么呢？
我要一杯冰茶。李友，你喝什么？
我很渴，请给我一杯可乐，多放点冰。
好，2盘饺子，1盘家常豆腐，2碗酸辣汤， 一杯冰茶，一杯可乐，多放冰。还要别的吗？
不要别的了，这些够了。服务员，我们都饿了，请上菜快一点儿。
没问题，菜很快就能做好。
I would suggest now going back and listening to this audio at least 2 more times, just to make sure you can fully understand what all the speakers are saying. Now that we've listened to the audio from Lesson 12, Dialogue 1, it's time to start reviewing those new vocab words. And one of the most effective methods to do this is flashcards. So to start reviewing those new vocab words using Quizlet, just scan the QR code on your screen here, or click on the link below in the description section of the video. Let's look at the first grammar point in this section of Lesson 12, Dialogue 1, and this is how it appears in the text. Leo says, 还要2碗酸辣汤，请别放味精，少放点盐。有小白菜吗? The grammar point we want to focus on here is the adverb 少, pronounced S-H-A-O using your third tone. 少. So when we're using 多 or 少 to express the idea of something more or less, they need to be placed before the verb. And here in this sentence on your screen, 放, to put, is the verb. 多 and 少 are functioning here as adverbs, so of course they come before the verb. 好的，我们来练习一下。爸爸告诉服务员，少放盐，多放点糖。So here, the 少 and the 多 are coming directly before the verb 放, meaning my dad told the waiter to put less salt in, and also to put more sugar in. 中文怎么说? In Chinese class, you should speak more Chinese and less English. 上中文课的时候，你得多说中文，少说英文。好的，中文怎么说? Today's a bit cold. You should wear more clothing. 今天有一点冷，你得多穿衣服。So again, the 多 here is an adverb. So it's coming before the verb, which is 穿, to wear. Let's turn now to look at another use of 多 and 少. So when they're placed before a verb, which is what we've been doing here, this structure can also suggest a deviation from the correct amount or number. 比如说，我只买一杯咖啡，可是你给了我2杯，你多给了我1杯。Here, if you look at the sentence, the first part of it, I'm simply saying, I only bought 1 cup of coffee. However, you gave me 2 cups of coffee. You gave me 1 cup too many. So here the 多, placed before the verb 给, is suggesting a deviation from the correct amount or number. 好的，中文怎么说? You gave me $1 too many. 你多找了我1块钱. So again, the adverb 多 here is placed directly before the verb 找, to give change, to suggest that somebody gave you too much money. 好的，我们来练习一下. So please fill in the blanks below using either 多 or 少. You may want to pause the video here because I'm about to give away the answers. 第一，医生说我们得少喝可乐，多喝水. So drink less cola and drink more water. 第二呢，爸爸希望我多吃青菜，少吃肉. Right? So my dad hopes that I eat more vegetables or green leafy vegetables and eat less meat. 第三呢，这双鞋175块，我给了售货员200块，他找了我35块，多找了10块. Right? So if you do the math here, what we're trying to suggest is that the 售货员 gave us $10 too much. Now let's move on to look at the second main grammar point from Lesson 12, Dialogue 1. This is how it appears in the text. Leo says, 还要2碗酸辣汤，请别放味精，少放点盐。有小白菜吗？ And then the 服务员 says, 对不起，小白菜刚卖完。So the grammar point we want to focus on here is this adverb, 刚. And so 刚, as an adverb, is always placed before a verb, and what it means is that an action or a change in situation took place in the very recent past. It's somewhat subjective. The recent past is something that the speaker here feels is a recent event. 比如说，我刚吃完午饭，现在不饿。So here we're simply saying that I just ate lunch, so I'm not hungry right now. Let's turn now to compare 刚 with 刚才, and hopefully you remember 刚才from lesson 11. So let's look at the main differences between these two. 刚, first of all, is an adverb, therefore it should be placed before a verb. 刚才 is a time word, very much like 今天 or 昨天, and it can be placed before or after the subject. 刚才 refers to the time shortly before speaking. So here with 刚才, we're talking about no more than perhaps 1 to 30 minutes in most situations, and often less than 5 minutes. 比如说，刚才他在宿舍，现在去图书馆了。So here, notice the placement of 刚才. It's placed at the beginning of a sentence, before the subject. You cannot do this with 刚. This can only be done with 刚才since it's a time word. 刚, if you remember, is an adverb, so it must come before the verb. 好的，中文怎么说? I went to the bookstore just now. The just now here we want to use as a time word. 我刚才去书店了。So here, notice 刚才 is placed directly after the subject. It's telling us what the time phrase is. And then also look at the end of the sentence here. We've got a le. Sentences with 刚才often end with le. By contrast, sentences that include 刚 cannot end with le. 好的，中文怎么说? Teacher Chang just ended class. 常老师刚下课. So here the 刚 is used as an adverb, meaning just. 常老师刚下课, and therefore it's placed directly before the verb 下课. Let's look at this sentence here on your screen. 我刚没说话。我刚没说话，对不对？不对，为什么呢? One more rule you have to remember here with 刚 is that it cannot be followed by 不 or 没. What you could say, though, is 我刚才没说话。我刚才没说话. So the main thing to remember here is that you can say something didn't happen just now, which would be 刚才, but you can't say that something just didn't happen, which is 刚. So a couple rules to remember with 刚. It cannot be followed by le, and it cannot be followed by 不 or 没. So in summary, 刚 is an adverb. Therefore, it's always placed directly before the verb. 刚才 is a time word, much like 昨天, 明天, 今天, and therefore it can be placed before or after the subject. Sentences with 刚才oftentimes end with le, because most likely the action has been completed. By contrast, sentences that include 刚 cannot end with le. And then finally, unlike 刚才, 刚 cannot be followed by 不 or 没. 好的，我们来练习一下. Please fill in the blanks below with either 刚 or 刚才. You may want to pause the video here because I'm about to give away the answers. 第一，刚才我给我妈妈打了个电话。So here 刚才 is the preferred choice. Why? Because it comes at the beginning of the sentence. It comes before the subject. It's a time phrase. 第二呢，他不是刚学中文，他是2016年开始学中文的。So here we want to use 刚, the adverb. Why? Because it comes before the verb 学。第三呢，他刚才不在宿舍，在图书馆看书呢。So here we want to use 刚才 for several reasons. Number one, it's a time word. It should come towards the beginning of the sentence. Number two, look at the character that follows it. 不. Remember, 不 and may cannot follow 刚。第四呢，我刚才没去你的宿舍找你。So here again, it's 刚才. Why? Because it's a time word, so it comes towards the beginning of the sentence. And two, because it's followed by may. Let's turn now to look at the last grammar point from Lesson 12, Dialogue 1. This is how it appears in the text. The 服务员 says, 对不起，小白菜刚卖完。Let's look at this last character, 完. 完 here is a resultative complement. A resultative complement is either an adjective or another verb following a verb. What resultative complements do is that they describe the result of a verb. So in this sentence, we're saying 卖完. 卖 is the verb here, meaning to sell. 完 means finish or end. Here it indicates that the action of selling is ended, hence the meaning sold out. 比如说，小白菜卖完了。So notice here in this sentence, we got rid of the 刚, the adverb 刚beforehand, before the verb. What this does is it allows us to use the la at the end of the sentence. And oftentimes with resultative complements, if the action is done or it already has a result, la is needed at the end of the sentence. 小白菜卖完了。好的，中文怎么说？ Great, you wrote this character correctly. 太好了，这个字你写对了。这个字你写对了。So here the verb 写 to write is followed by the resultative complement 对 meaning correct. Here we're simply saying that you wrote the character correctly. And since the action's completed, we need a la at the end of the sentence. 好的，中文怎么说？ The baby bok choy isn't sold out. 小白菜没卖完。小白菜没卖完。Notice here that the marker may, the negation marker may, is placed before the verb. This is common with resultative complements. The negative form of a resultative complement is formed by placing may or 没有 before the verb. 好的，中文怎么说？ Yikes, you didn't write this character correctly. 糟糕，这个字你没有写对。糟糕，这个字你没有写对。Notice here, we're using 没有 to negate the resultative complement. And as always, it comes directly before the verb. So take a moment here to fill in the blanks below with the appropriate resultative complement that I have listed here at the top of the screen. You may want to pause the video because I'm about to give away the answers. 第一，你说错了，他的名字不是王小英。So here the resultative complement 错 follows the verb 说 to suggest that the speaker or you spoke incorrectly. 第二呢，他找到了工作，他找到了工作。Here the resultative complement 到 follows the verb 找 meaning to look to tell us that they found a job. 第三呢，我做完功课了， 我做完功课了. Here the resultative complement 完, meaning to finish, follows the verb 做, to do, to tell us that I have completed my homework. And notice the 了 at the end of the sentence here. You need a 了 when the action is completed. 第四呢？你说对了，白英爱是韩国人. Right, you're right. 白英爱 is Korean. 第五呢？老师说的话你听懂了吗？老师说的话你听懂了吗？ Here it's asking you if you understand what the teacher is saying. 听 to listen, 懂 is to understand. Another common resultative complement that you'll see is 好, and this is how it appears in the text. The 服务员 says, 没问题，菜很快就能做好. Here, this 就能做好 indicates that the food will be ready soon, and then it'll be time to eat. So when 好 serves as a complement following a verb, it indicates the completion of an action. But it also indicates a readiness to start the next action or event. So in this sample sentence you see here, 菜很快就能做好 indicates that the dish will be done soon, right? The chef will be done cooking it soon, meaning you can then eat it. 好，比如说，功课做好了，我要睡觉了. Right? So my homework's done. Now I want to go to sleep. 好，我们来看一下。中文怎么说？中文怎么说？下个星期的考试，你准备好了吗？下个星期的考试，你准备好了吗？ So I'll often ask you this in class, right? Have you prepared? 你准备好了吗？ This is the resultative complement 好。中文怎么说？ I haven't finished my Chinese homework. 中文功课我没做好。中文功课我没做好. So here the negation marker 没, or we could use 没有, is placed directly before the verb 做 to indicate that you haven't done it yet. 我做中文功课没做好. Another way of saying the sentence. For additional explanations and examples of these grammar points, please do see your textbook, pages 41 to 45. The resource I want to share with you here today is a YouTube channel. It's a bit dated, but it does feature an entertaining Chinese TV series that has both Chinese and English subtitles. The YouTube channel in the series is called 快乐汉语, Happy Chinese. The series is exclusively in Chinese, and it's packed full of useful sayings, expressions, and vocab. So do give it a shot. To start watching this Chinese TV series, just scan the QR code on your screen or click on the link below in the description section of this video.
And finally, once you feel comfortable with all the vocab words, characters, and grammar points from Lesson 12, Dialogue 1, please don't forget to take the practice quiz in Canvas before our next class session. 好的，谢谢大家，下次见，再见。